Got out, as fate would have it, very soon he bumped into her, and after he fucked her, the next so I'm in Queens, he's in California. That afternoon he called me and he called me and told me that he did it. First he's like, I did it. I told you I'd do it. I did it. And I'm like, yeah, what did you do? And he's like, I was that bitch. And I was like, oh wow. I'm like, yay, great, okay. And we spoke.
How did you react?
I was dry.
Honestly, how did you react in the moment?
I was dry. I was like, oh, okay, yay, like, but it was killing me. Yes, it was killing me inside. But I was like, okay, great, yay. Then he, switched up the subject.
Keeps on denying that she ever hooked up with Tupac Shakur, but the amount of evidence piling up against her is simply too much to ignore. Many eyewitnesses have come forward, telling stories that seem way too detailed to be made up. One of the most striking testimonies comes from someone who was actually at the Century Club, one of the hottest spots back in the day. According to them, Faith was seen getting into Tupac's car after they left the club together. The atmosphere was buzzing, the lights were low, and Faith, described as looking slim and striking, confidently jumped into the vehicle with Tupac, leaving everyone to wonder just what exactly happened next. Some say Faith and Tupac never made it to a hotel. Instead, they allegedly got intimate right there in the limo. Others recall seeing them later at Death Row Records studios, tucked away in a private area famously known as the Red Room. It was an intimate space, small, dark, and private, a perfect spot for secrecy. Witnesses have described seeing Tupac pushing Faith's head toward his lap, a shocking sight that left everyone who saw it completely stunned. The image alone is enough to raise questions about Faith's consistent denials. Things get even more intense when we bring Kidada Jones into the picture. Kidada, the daughter of legendary music producer Quincy Jones, reportedly confronted Faith Evans directly about her rumored involvement with Tupac. Despite the intensity of the confrontation,
after that time at Bowie State University was on October 18th, 1995. And I was in the studio once again. I was in the studio with Grandmaster Melly Mel from Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 and Scorpio. And we were working on that album called Right Now. And I told him after I had laid down my parts for that album, I told him, I'm like, yo, I'm going to the Hollywood Athletic Club. And I remember specifically, it's a Wednesday night. And so I'm like, yo, I holler, yo, if y'all get, when y'all get done, stop down there. So I goes on down to the club, and it's popping. It's popping. All of the, my man Roland Work was the promoter. Rest in peace. He passed this year. And so when I get down there, I'm standing outside. The ladies, the line is around the building. It's just packed. This prime time, it's nothing to see major A-list celebrities there.
Most devastating events she ever endured. But why would Kidada confront Faith if there wasn't some genuine suspicion? The connection between Tupac and Kidada was incredibly deep, yet complicated. Tupac initially had a rocky relationship with Kidada's family, having openly criticized Quincy Jones in the past. However, after apologizing and meeting Kidada, their relationship blossomed into something profound. Tupac's final moments in the hospital were shared with Kidada, who expressed her love and devotion, making this alleged betrayal by Faith all the more painful. Amidst this tangled web of relationships, Faith Evans was famously married to Biggie Smalls, also known as Notorious B.I.G. They met at a Bad Boy Records photo shoot in 1994 and quickly tied the knot after knowing each other for only 8 days. Their relationship, though passionate, was always clouded by rumors of Biggie's infidelity, notably with rapper Lil' Kim. Faith's hatred towards Kim stemmed from catching her and Biggie together in compromising situations.
And he really had Thug Mansion. So, Thug Mansion, I couldn't believe when I walked in here. Like, Pac was crazy as hell, man. Dude, I walked in the Thug Mansion, and the original cover of Machiavelli was on the wall, big on the wall. Okay, now do you know what the original cover of Machiavelli was?
Nah, what was it, yo?
It was Biggie. It was a pig. It was Biggie with the body of a pig and the head. It was Biggie's head, and it was a snake, and it was Puffy's head. And it was drawn hella like wicked and shit. It was like drawn hella wicked, dude. Wicked.
Given the very public nature of the feud, one of the most jaw-dropping moments came when Faith alleged that Tupac made inappropriate advances toward her when she went to collect money he owed her for their collaboration. Faith claimed Tupac suggested she perform sexual favors in exchange for payment, something she said deeply offended her. Yet, despite her claims, eyewitness accounts continued to cast doubt on her narrative. Notable figures have publicly challenged Faith's denials. Jaguar Wright, known for her brutally honest commentary, openly mocked Faith's attempts to deny her involvement with Tupac. Jaguar went as far as implying Faith didn't know who the father of her child was, insinuating Faith had been intimate with both Biggie and Tupac around the same time.
And you jogged my memory. Thank you for the question. 2003, we were at the Source Awards, and I linked up with Crooked Eye. And me and Crooked Eye were reasoning. Crooked Eye has a death row chain on, and I'm, of course, active member from the Bad Boy family. Myself and Crooked Eye, we reasoned, and we said, yo, we should do a tune together. And we should call it the Bad Boy Death Row Collab. And I'm like, you know what? That would be fire. At this time, Sugar's in jail. I tell Crooked Eye, you know that the row wouldn't assign me. He was like, what? So what's happened? I'm like, I'm at the Source Awards with you, with the band. What do you mean what happened? He's like, oh, okay, I dig it. So you currently Bad Boy, but you were going to come to the row? I said, yeah. Pause. I said, all right, cool. We move forward. I go out to LA. Me and Crooked Eye, we did the song. It's
Some even capturing photographic evidence. Rapper Spice One also added fuel to the fire, openly stating that Faith and Tupac definitely had a relationship, describing them as more than friends. His words resonated strongly because Spice One had direct connections to Tupac, and his testimony felt credible. Ray J further confirmed suspicions by recalling seeing Faith comfortably seated on Tupac's lap at social gatherings, a scene suggesting undeniable intimacy. Perhaps one of the strongest confirmations came from Desiree, who recounted a conversation she had with Tupac right after he was released from prison. According to Desiree, Tupac explicitly said he had been with Faith, using her as a pawn in his personal vendetta against Biggie. Tupac allegedly considered Faith an easy target compared to Lil' Kim, who was known for her fierce loyalty to Biggie.
You know what I mean? We walk right there in front of Big. We see Big. Big sitting there. He got his cane. C standing there. Puff sitting down beside him. They doing, Puff was on his extra that night. He just popping up in their front. But see, Gibby, I got family from the gang culture. I'm walking around, I'm looking at people's eyes. I'm looking at different people's faces. They like, they up in here, Shawty. They up in here. They gonna see about the West tonight. So just imagine now, I go to my guys, I go to Good, I say, hey man.
Biggie, even Suge Knight, the infamous head of Death Row Records, weighed in, acknowledging that he'd heard and witnessed enough to know Faith and Tupac had something physical going on. The consistency of these accounts from various sources makes Faith's denials increasingly hard to accept. Adding more complexity to the story, Kidada Jones was reportedly deeply hurt by the rumors involving Faith Kidada, who was genuinely devastated by Tupac's passing. confronted Faith directly, seeking the truth. According to reports, Faith dismissed Kidada's concerns, suggesting Tupac's relationship with Kidada wasn't as significant as she believed. True, such a dismissal would have been an incredibly harsh blow to Kidada, who considered Tupac the love of her.
He's like, I ain't got to be around all that going on with them. I'm going to go by myself and do my own thing. So, the rest of us, we stayed back. So Dog stayed home. Daz did what he was doing. I flew to the Bay, go with D-Shot and 40 and them. And then it came on the news. D-Shot came in the room I was in and he broke the news to me and told me that Pac got shot. And I was like, huh? It was real sad. I had to fly back home and go see Snoop, see what's going on, cuz. And I think Dog had already left to go see Pop. You know what I'm saying? Suge.
Her life. The narrative around Tupac and Kidada's relationship is somewhat mixed. Some friends and sources close to Tupac have hinted their relationship wasn't as serious as Kidada described it, suggesting Tupac deliberately kept her distant the night he was tragically targeted. Whether he did so to protect her or simply because he didn't view their relationship as serious remains unclear. Still, Kidada's grief was undeniably real. She documented her agony in her father Quincy Jones's autobiography, describing in vivid detail her heartbreaking experience the night Tupac died. Kidada described receiving Tupac's blood-stained clothes at the hospital, and her last painful interaction with him as he lay in his hospital.
Eventually, he let me out of the contract.
And you said the music on there was fire.
For me, it was the best music I ever done, because maybe my mindset was more clear. I wasn't drinking, I wasn't smoking. I did a whole album. I was really trying to watch out, words and cuss words and stuff like that. I had a dope song with, what his name, what's the dude that shot Levy Barrington? I had a hit with Levy Barrington, because Johnny J was producing. It was the best music I ever did in my career. And people thought I was crazy when I woke up one day. It's like, I don't want to do music anymore.
Hospital bed, slipping into a coma. Given all these detailed accounts and emotionally charged testimonies, it's puzzling why Faith continues to deny any relationship with Tupac. Many speculate that Faith's denial stems from her fear of being seen as a traitor, especially given her complicated marriage to Biggie and the intense loyalty battles within the hip-hop community. Perhaps Faith feels that admitting any relationship with Tupac would tarnish her legacy or reputation irreparably. The story is further complicated by Tupac's own.
Say as Diplomats as a whole, probably have one of the biggest influences in the hip hop history. I'm not saying the biggest, but one of the biggest influence. One of the biggest influences. Period. From across so many levels. You know what I mean? Fashion being one of the major, and music being the other. But we've done so many things in hip hop culture and put so many things into hip hop culture. You know what I mean? That's still rocking today. You know what I mean? And there are a lot of legends and things like that, but they don't have as many contributions as we have to the actual culture. You know what I mean? Like 10, 20 million records is a hell of a
claims. His explosive diss track, Hit 'Em Up Famously, opens with him bragging about being intimate with Faith. This line alone significantly amplified rumors, leaving Faith in a tough spot publicly. Biggie himself even referenced the alleged infidelity in his music, adding credibility to the accusations. Despite mounting evidence and eyewitnesses, Faith maintains her innocence. Yet the testimonies continue pouring in, painting a vivid picture of a complex, messy web of love, betrayal, rivalry, and secrets within the hip-hop industry. The real question remains unanswered. Why does Faith Evans keep denying her connection to Tupac when countless voices and accounts suggest otherwise? Is it pride, fear, or something deeper that motivates her silence? Fans and onlookers alike are left to speculate and wonder about the real story hidden behind the denials, accusations, and heartbreak that have marked these intertwined lives forever. The situation becomes even more tangled when considering how fiercely Faith has defended her reputation in the face of relentless questioning. She's gone to great lengths, appearing in numerous interviews to emphasize her innocence, portraying herself as misunderstood and unfairly targeted by those who thrive on drama. But this continuous denial leaves many people scratching their heads, unable to fully accept her claims because the mounting evidence against her seems too overwhelming. People wonder what exactly Faith hopes to gain by maintaining this stance. Is she trying to protect her image as a loyal partner to Biggie, even after all these years? Is she attempting to preserve her legacy in the industry, fearing that admitting the truth might overshadow her contributions to music? These questions are constantly debated among fans and critics alike, fueling endless speculation about her true motives. Jaguar writes sharp accusations certainly didn't help Faith's case. Jaguar, known for her bold, unfiltered statements, openly questioned Faith's sincerity and even challenged her credibility as a mother, insinuating that Faith might have been uncertain about her child's paternity due to simultaneous relationships. With Biggie and Tupac, such claims are not taken lightly, as they deeply impact Faith's reputation both professionally and personally. Jaguar wasn't alone in her skepticism. Rapper Spice One, whose word holds considerable weight given his close relationship with Tupac, explicitly confirmed that there was more than friendship between Tupac and Faith. His straightforward testimony added yet another credible voice against Faith's continued denials, making it even harder for her story to hold up under scrutiny.